What is going on, everybody in the Finding Freedom community? So, what inspired this video? Well, I lost all my tech and I saw a show called Undercover Billionaire with Glenn Stern, and then there was a part 2 with Grant Cardone and a couple other people. Now, one of the things that, I harp on all the time is the psychological subtleties, how they had, a large camera crew and they were able to get by with all this BS. Well, this whole thing of me losing my tech and things like that inspired me not only to document my own journey, but to show you what you can do with a cheap $50 phone from Walmart, an old laptop, and how you could build your life all over again with the help of AI. So as you can see, I have my old laptop here. It's in the little backpack here. It's about, 6-8 years old. I use that to go ahead and edit videos and things like that from the phone that I got from Walmart. That only costs $50. The plan is like $55. And you get unlimited everything, and you get a mobile hotspot with 30 gigs on it. Not to go ahead and promote Walmart, but if I'm going to be documenting this whole process, I might as well document everything that I used along the way, especially things like Canva, Adobe Spark, Pexel, and a couple other things that I'm going to bring with me along the recordings and documenting and everything like that, so that when you watch this, you can go ahead and utilize the same tools for yourself in order to not only better your life, but then to understand how to apply it with artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT and Google's Gemini, which already comes pre-installed on all the phones that I'm going to show you that you can utilize. So let's get into it. This is episode 1 of, Debunking Undercover Billionaire. Let's go. Alright, so as we document this process, what you want to do is you want to find a place with free Wi-Fi. Facebook will go ahead and show you that if you don't have that application. Any McDonald's, Starbucks, or anything in your area, such as a coffee shop, will have free Wi-Fi. Now, if you go with the plan that I mentioned on Walmart, you also get unlimited hotspots. For I think up to 30 gigs, and that costs $55. The phone that I'm using to record this right now only costs $50, and it comes preset with Google's Gemini, which is their AI feature. You could talk to it just like Siri, so you don't have to drop $1,600 on a new iPhone in order to go ahead and make something of yourself or put extra money in your pocket. Now, what I'm doing here is, as you recall in the TV show Undercover Billionaire, before they had everything else, they introduced a large camera crew. There's no camera crew, there's just me, a cell phone, a laptop, and a bunch of random strangers wondering why I'm recording this right now. But if you're going to go ahead and try to make something of yourself, why not have AI on your side, know how to prompt and know what tools to use to get a bigger bang for your buck? So let's get into it. I'm going to be using Canva, this phone, as well as YouTube to go ahead and start social media awareness. And then we're going to look at what businesses that we can help or problem solve with, or for, or people that we can help and serve in order to not only put money in their pocket, but to put money in ours. Because as has once been said, you can have anything you want as long as you help other people get what it is that they want. So let's go. Alright, so now that we have Google up and running and we have internet access, I wanted to share a prompt with you that I want you to utilize while you're following me through this whole process. So the prompt you want to go ahead and put into either ChatGPT or Google's Gemini is: become a collective mind of top entrepreneurs, innovators, marketers, investors, and financial experts in the world with over 30 years of experience. Your job is to help me and assist me building a business starting with $100, a smartphone, a standard laptop from Walmart, and skills within business and marketing and logistics. Do you understand? After I stated that, AI responded yes, that it understands. It understood everything as far as the starting budget, tools, and skills required, and its response was, as you can see here, Phase 1, zero cost discovery and skill capitalization. And it goes into in-depth and things like that as far as strategy is concerned. It talks about the network effect. Then it talks about service arbitrage, and I'll be talking about what arbitrage is later on. If you don't follow me or Gary Vaynerchuk, arbitrage is the buying or selling of any commodity or stock at the exact same time. So I get your attention, I make money in return for your attention due to Google AdSense or whatever the case may be, blah, 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 blah. Now the action steps. So there's going to be a skill audit. Now, outside of that, there's also market research because we want to go ahead and start doing business in what's known as our basic trade area. It's a 100-mile diameter from wherever you plan on doing business. If you don't know about this, go ahead and look up Marcus Lemonis. He's from The Profit, but he's also a business trader as well. What he does is he buys and sells small and medium-sized businesses, converts them, flips them, and turns them for a large profit. Something similar to what I'm going to show you how to do within this whole documentary. So, moving forward, we're going to talk about microservices. In phase 2, we're going to talk about minimal investments and maximum leverage. Most people don't understand the word leverage, but they will eventually. So this is coming with a digital mad mindset as well as bootstrapping with actionable steps. Of course, there's going to be more money coming in, but we're starting with $100, our skills, and the tech that we currently have. So hope this helped all of you, and let me know what you guys think of the prompt. I'll also go ahead and put the link to that prompt in the video down below in the description so you can pick up where I left off, so you don't even have to remember it. All you have to do is click on it, say continue, and then from there you can go ahead and start your own thing and follow me along the way. Take care. Talk later. Bye. Now, for those of you that are still watching, I went on with the second prompt that I want you to utilize, and the second prompt goes as follows. Please ask me as many questions as possible to help me achieve making as much money as possible within the next 3 to 6 months while building a successful business. Do you understand? Because we stacked and we primed. If you study Tony Robbins, there's a priming effect. It happens with humans. It also happens with AI. You have to prime or put it in state in order to get better answers. Because we primed it in the beginning, telling it to become a collective mind, it can use that collective mind to ask us the questions needed in order to be successful. Here on the screen, you can see that we got asked at least 35 different questions in order to go ahead and make this possible within the next 3 to 6 months. Now, I'm going to go through and answer each one of these questions as well as show you what I put down, record it, and then go ahead and give you that to show you that, well, 1, I'm doing this with you. 2, it's not that difficult. 3, if you think it's impossible, go laugh in the mirror to somebody else about it. And 4, well, ChatGPT is free, so what do you have to lose? Think about it. So is every social media platform. But then again, if it's free, normally you're the product. And you'll understand that once I start getting into definitions and terminologies and psychological subtleties that come within the psychology of marketing a business, sociology, the psychology as far as cognitive biases are concerned, such as the halo effect. Why does everybody buy Kardashian makeup when it's a white labeled product? And we'll get into that later because, well, all they had to do was find who made the top the top makeup brand in the world, see if they white labeled, put their own name on it, put their brand attached to it, and now they can arbitrage the same product, the same chemicals, maybe change 1 or 2 things so that there's differentiation, and then from there, build a business from there. It's the same thing as using Alibaba or selling stuff on Amazon, whether you're drop shipping or not. So this is episode 1. Let's get into it. Let's answer these questions, and I'll see you guys in episode 2, where we not only go over the answers, but the plan and strategy it gives us in order to carry this out. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, friends. Peace. All right, for those of you who live in the North Carolina or Charlotte area, I am at the Ballantine Bowl. As you can see, I have my laptop out. My stuff with my backpack is right there. I'm recording this on the same $50 the same $50 phone that I got from Walmart with the $55 plan that comes with a hotspot. There's the Ballantine Hotel right there. And it's a great place to just get out, clear your head, and also knock out some stuff like video editing and everything else. And if you need a charge, you can always go to Starbucks or a local coffee shop to charge up your equipment, etc., etc., etc. But I wanted to show you guys the process because I'm also doing a thing called Class, which talks about creativity, logic, art, science, and spirituality. That's going to be its own separate little lecture series slash podcast eventually, where I talk to other individuals that have done this process and or are thinking about it, and then I can recommend this documentary to them. So let's go. All right, so this is day 2 of debunking Undercover Billionaire, and what I did was I was a little bit proactive. So I'm going to go into screen recording and I'm going to show you something of like how I'm setting things up so that when I do get clients or whatever, I will be not only prepared, but the speed of execution would be a lot quicker. Now, this is in collaboration with using platforms like Canva, along with ChatGPT and a couple other things. Now, one of the things that I rely on is not only the templates, but my own creativity and then the colors or the logo of the businesses that I would be doing business with if I'm helping them with things like marketing and creating like social media stuff, because I'm utilizing the tools or skills that I possess. Now, if I'm helping a logistics company, I can do other things, and we're going to get into that when I show you how to build out maps on Canva, such as strategic logistical maps, as far as think of it like programming or designing, where you have a starting point or a square box, then you have a triangle, which means change, or delta depending on what industry you're in, so on and so forth. But it's a process similar to project management on how a system is supposed to operate when it comes to logistics and things like that, and then developing what's known as a standard operating procedure, or what I would like to call, in case shit happens, do this. So let's get into everything. I'm actually just got my approval again, and I found my other phone finally, but I'm still using the same Motorola phone, so that I can go ahead and record this whole thing for you guys, showing you that it really doesn't matter where you start or how much you start with. It matters of, well, how consistent are you? How persistent are you? Yes, you're going to have an emotional roller coaster, but at the end of the day, are you willing to put in the work to get your dreams and have them come true? And does it still exist in the United States today? So, without further ado, this is day 2. Let's get into breaking everything down that I've done between day 1 and day 2. And then, of course, how we're going to go about, well, making money. Right now, with my other phone, I signed up for Lyft, so I'm using my vehicle to not only travel and maybe go to free networking events, but I also can get paid out daily when I'm an Uber or Lyft driver. And I make money every single day on my time. So what does that mean? I could go to the networking events when I need to. I can make money when I need to, and I'm in charge of how much money I make depending on, well, supply and demand. Thankfully, the application tells you when are the best times to go out. So that's some food for thought for some of you that are going to attempt this, but you want to have some type of money or income, some type of job, etc. So take care and let's get into it. Peace. So what's going on, everybody? It's been about, I want to say 2-3 days since I made the last video. I had a lot of stuff I had to get done. I'm going to be breaking things down when I stop earlier. Long story short, I obviously needed to make money. So one of the things I did to make money was I went and started Lyft and Uber driving. That way I'm able to control not only when I make money, but how much I make, as well as when I am able to work, so on and so forth. Because if I, in the future, pick up steam as I anticipate things are going to happen, or if things go south, at least I have money coming in, I have control of it, as well as the fact that I can make the networking events and everything like that that I need to do in order to eventually, well, get clients for whatever business we come up with utilizing the AI platforms. So I'm going to be doing a lot of video editing later, so I'm going to be doing that, as well as Lyft driving, and then of course making the videos on top of it, all to get launched on the Finding Freedom channel on YouTube. So if you're seeing this right now, I pretty much cropped everything. Go over to YouTube, look for Finding Freedom or my handle at official Michael Guerrero, and you should be able to find me. And from there, you'll be able to see Debunking Undercover Billionaire. When you don't have a camera crew, how do you leverage things? Well, one of the things I did was I left where I was. It was just a bad situation anyways. So I left. Charlotte, North Carolina, and I came up to Raleigh in order to, well, not only get a fresh start, have fresh eyes, but I figured if they started in the middle of nowhere but had a camera crew, everything else, and all their knowledge, I could at least leverage my location and placement with the best chance of success. So I went to the capital areas or a larger city where there's two large cities close to each other where I can do business in both while still working for less, because it covers the whole state. So, you know, I could travel around North Carolina, do business in different areas or do work in different areas. And we're going to go over that when I do this screen share from my laptop, showing you stuff like, well, do you remember in Undercover Billionaire they went to like Craigslist and stuff like that? There's a whole other list that you guys could go ahead and look up for, and you can even make posts on social media to see if anybody needs help. So this just was my little cap here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get back to driving so I can go ahead and make some money, because I got a phone bill to knock out. Anyways, take care, peace out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. All right, so it's the morning of the second day up here at the Capitol, and let's just say it's a hell of a lot better than Charlotte. Don't know why. Maybe because there's more law enforcement. I have no idea. But what I can say is that we got started pretty early this morning, driving, knocked out a couple things. Now, the good thing is that because there's not as many drivers up here, I was able to knock out a lot of rides and make money. So, as you know, in Undercover Billionaire, they start off with $100, and then they got to make money from there. Unfortunately, I didn't start off with $100, but I did start off with being applied and accepted to Lyft and Uber, which granted me the ability to make money. And I had about $40 in my pocket, and I took everything that I had with me that would fit in my trunk. So yes, I do have expenses. So when I got up here, I worked immediately, knocked out my phone bill. From there, I was able to then go back to work and then record this video for you guys just to keep you guys updated and create another episode for you guys to show you exactly how this whole thing is coming together. And then, you know, stop at a local Starbucks, which is why I'm sitting in my car right now. Starbucks is right there. And I just wanted to knock this out before I start, you know, doing screen sharing and everything like that, and doing the recording and editing and blah, 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 so that you two can not only enjoy this, but see the amount of work that went into not only being the camera guy, but the guy doing the networking, doing the work, getting the money, so on and so forth, and all the work that it takes if you do want to be an entrepreneur, if you do want to start your own thing, if you do want to make some money. Because let's just face it, doing quick apply or easy apply or even applying online is becoming difficult these days because of so many things. I mean, artificial intelligence is being used to scan resumes, so people are using AI to go ahead and create resumes, and it just gets very interesting because magically you have all these people that are great candidates. Now you just got to figure out which ones are not BSing you. So that's going to take a lot of time out of people's day if they're hiring people to do all those interviews. But at the end of the day, when it comes to speech, when it comes to tonality, when it comes to pitch, or as Evie Pompara says, who's a former Secret Service person, it's called paralinguistics. She mentioned it. I went and did some research on it. But then again, I didn't know the exact terminology. It's something that we get taught in the magic community. If you ever had someone tell you that you had mental health issues or whatever, and they started changing their tone, magically forgetting things, so on and so forth, it's because they're going to paint you into a corner to look crazy. I remember this episode on Burn Notice with Michael Weston, who was a burnt spy who pretended to be a priest, and long story short, made this guy look crazy. It's almost like, if you know Elevation Church and Stephen Furtick, imagine him working for like the CIA or National Intelligence Agency, or working with all government agencies, because they play both sides of the fence and, well, they just omit stuff and say, God told me to say it. So, I mean, you could look at it that way if it's from a corrupt standpoint, depending on how the church or whatever place you go to. I'm just speaking from my own experience and what I had in Charlotte, as well as with Atrium Health, because it got to the point where I had to start recording people, and then they would slow down and all of a sudden correct their speech. So, you got to be careful with those things. And especially when it comes to marketing your business, you want to be precise. You want to know who your ideal client avatar is. So if you're going to get into something, make sure you use AI, turn it into a professional marketer and copywriter so that the words that you use speak to the people that you want to do business with. You're not going to be a finance person talking about arbitrage, opening up a dry cleaning business. So think about it like that and follow the prompts. Oh, by the way, I got a lot of questions answered, and I'm wrapping those up hopefully later today if I get some time. And then I'll go ahead and finish the screen sharing and recording so that you guys can see what Google's Gemini responded back with, and then how I am able to then cross-reference that and put in the work to find places to ask if they need help with either logistics or their marketing services. So anyways, just want to wrap this up, and yeah, let's get going. All right, peace. All right, so what's up, everybody? Just wanted to give you a quick check-in. This is my third day in Raleigh, and when it comes to this whole project in North Carolina, I think we're on our first week, or just completed our first week. It's been amazing. I'm actually stopping at the gas station here, which is kind of like a pilot or Cheats or whatever it's called. It's pretty cool, but I just wanted to give you a quick update, and then in a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and show you some stuff and talk about some things that I wanna show you that I did along the way for prep work. Anyways, take care. Have a great day. All right, well, this is the end of my day today, kind of, sort of. I got to take a nap because I've been on the road pretty much working all day and taking care of other things. So I ended up starting at like 4:30 a.m. this morning, and then it's about 6:30 right now. So with, one or two breaks in between just to stretch my legs, grab breakfast, lunch, whatever. And then now what I'm doing is actually taking a nap so that I can then work later, because I have to put certain things in place. The first thing I wanted to do was make sure I had space in my vehicle. So I ended up I had to get storage just in case. So I put my stuff in there so I could do airport runs and things like that, because you make more money. And then, of course, when it comes to taking care of the vehicle, because I'm doing Lyft, yes, it's a good thing that I get paid out every day. I can clock money, so on and so forth, etc., and work on my schedule, but it also brings the fact that you're going to need an oil change faster than most people, because you're always driving your vehicle. So I scheduled that today, so I'll be knocking that out on Monday. That's another $130 right there, plus the tire rotation, because, in the military they say weapon body gear, and my car is part of my gear of how I would make money, right? It's a tool, just like money is a tool. Now, once my oil change is complete and I took care of all my other bills, such as my phone bill, so on and so forth, etc., now I have 30 days to now not only make money, but then do something with it, and then find people that I could do business with, whether that's doing their marketing or whatever. But I'm going to go back to AI and see what responses it had for me. What's it called? For, well, the questions that I answered and everything like that. So I want to review everything. I want to see in detail and really take time. So maybe tomorrow, because I saw that there was going to be a dead period between certain times, I may go to like a Starbucks or something, work from there because they have free Wi-Fi, do some editing, edit the video, save the video, and then from there also do some research on some of the suggestions that AI gives to me. And I'll try my best, because I don't know how they are with filming in public spaces. However, I'll do my best to try to record exactly what it is that I'm doing, whether that's a screen share or using this phone to record me on my laptop, looking everything up, so on and so forth, etc. So here we go. Let's get into it. And I'm taking a nap for now, so I might come back later. Anyways, if I don't, mwah, love you guys. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Today is Saturday. Yesterday we did some recording. On Friday I was working a hell of a lot yesterday. I ended up starting a timer when I started, I think 2 hours later, but I did about 12 to 13 hours doing Lyft, so on and so forth, and Uber. That was not only to make money in preparation for the oil change and tire rotation, but to also have money to get through the weekend, so on and so forth. And yeah, so let's start tallying some things up. Knocked out storage, that's roughly $30-ish, $35 a month. Then I ended up knocking out my phone bill. That was another $90-something. Then you have the tire rotation and oil change, that's $130. So I'm already at close to $300. And I started with 40 bucks in my pocket and the opportunity to work for Lyft and Uber and travel anywhere in the state that I'm at right now. So that's the good thing. The good thing is that if someone says no in one area, I could just travel to another area, continue working to make money, and go until I find a yes. Now, in the meantime, I'm also searching for an actual job that will pay me to work remotely, utilizing my skills in both business and logistics, whether that's helping them with supply chain, transportation, etc., moving stuff, making things and the routes more efficient, and making sure that safety is a priority. Things like that I can help out with in logistics, from my military experience working in security or truck checkers, so on and so forth, working with ammunitions and explosives. I could also see if the police force out here needs any consultants as far as, well, how do people traffic, ammunitions and explosives or weapons? That would deal with ATF. If they say yes and I'm able to prove to them, not only am I a veteran, but that was pretty much what I did was security to make sure safety and protocol, so on and so forth. And I could share a couple stories like the officer that walked in carrying a 20 Mike mortar round, tried to pull rank on me because he was an officer, and said that I better take the mortar and put it into the ASP because that's what he was told that he was supposed to do. Now, mind you, he also found this mortar on the side of the road. The thing is, the primer was struck, right? So if the primer struck, that means the round is cooking off. That means it could explode at any moment. And this guy was carrying it and holding it like a baby, like he knew what he was doing. And I was just like, you are out of your mind, sir, if you think I'm going to take that. But you could wait right here. Let me go talk to Master Guns real quick, and I'll be right back. And so I went to Master Guns. I was like, you will not believe the crap that I just freaking saw. And this officer that literally just pulled rank on me and told me to take a 20 millimeter round with the primer struck that he's carrying like a baby. He goes, what did you just say? I said, the primer struck. He's holding a mortar round that he found on the side of the road, and someone told him that he was supposed to turn it into the ASP. He goes, let's go outside. So me and Master Guns walk outside, and he goes to the officer. He goes, sir, I don't know where the fuck you found that, but I suggest you be very delicate with it and place it back wherever the hell you found it. What you're holding is called a live round, and it's cooking off, and it could explode at any minute. You bringing it here is literally a dangerous, hazardous thing that can kill everybody. One of the other things is, like, he expected me to salute him. First of all, if you're training for combat, and one of the biggest things is you don't fucking salute the officer because it identifies who the important person is, right? So if you salute, if you nod, if you do anything that shows, hey, this person's important, that's why everybody's listening to them, and they start pulling rank and, blah, 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 blah. Pride comes before the fall, and that person just put a target on their back because they needed to show their pride, their emphasis, how strong they were with their rank, etc. All they did was become a mark for the enemy. So, there's things that people understand. There's things that people don't get trained on, do get trained on. It's just another security feature, It's like in another video I did dealing with something else, I was talking about military experiences, and people were asking me, why is it that I go like this and I tap my head? And I say, are you crazy? And it's one of the things that we used to do because we used to wear hard hats, and on the top of the hard hat there's like this little thing that looks like a primer. Well, if you hit it, obviously the primer, right, the round goes off. So code or sign language would be, are you crazy? You've probably seen this in the movie Expendables with Jason Statham, who plays the character Christmas. And Barney, who goes and saves his life, who shoots at the guy behind him, he turns around and goes, are you crazy? So on and so forth. And he goes, you're welcome. Yes, it's military humor. Yes, that was very accurate and very real as far as the expression is concerned, because, well, I have seen things similar to that when people would do something insane or crazy and they flip out and they do the head pat, so on and so forth, etc. So, you know, little food for thought for you guys there. But anyways, let's go get some breakfast and then let's get this show on the road. It's going to be a little dead this morning, so hopefully I can pick up a couple rides. But being that it's Saturday, I'm literally gearing up and like taking part of the morning / afternoon off, not only so that I can edit, record, and put these videos together for you guys, but so that I can do other things and do more prep work as far as, well, setting up contracts. What happens if I get a client that says, yeah, we'll hire you as a consultant or contractor or whatever? Do you have an agreement ready, etc.? So I've been working on a couple things. Thank God we have ChatGPT and Google Gemini, which the phone comes with. And if you do have a Google account, you can just get on any computer because it'll sync up to your email address. And so you could go to a regular computer or a computer lab, so on and so forth, sign into your Google account, go to Google Gemini, and your conversation with the AI will be there. So you can pretty much have a conversation with it anywhere, whether that's on your phone or on a laptop, etc. And then, of course, I want to go a step further and now look at this plan and strategy after answering these questions for AI, and see what it comes up with and what ideas it gives me, with the answers and everything like that. So I got to do the screen share and the screen recording for that. But right now, I'm hungry. I'm going to get breakfast. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.
All right, so here's everything. So as I said earlier, I got it to ask me questions. I went through the prompt, I answered the questions, I put them back in, and it gave me a little plan. It talked about our key strengths and opportunities. So think of a SWOT analysis, right? Then it talks about digital marketing expertise, logistics, team building, driven, goal oriented, things like that. And then, of course, my weaknesses, right? Cold sales, startup capital, risk mitigation, experience gaps, etc. And then it also mentions a strategic action plan. So, this is just an example of what it gave, so on and so forth. And then I asked it to be more specific, and then it did something very nice for you, right? Because I asked it to be more specific and detailed, it actually broke things down into phases, breaking everything up to like 1 to 4 weeks, making sure that the budget was there, what the task would be, how much I should or could charge, so on and so forth, for services rendered, things that would be needed to get built, etc., and so much more. And then it talks about the next 2 to 3 months, right? This would be the scaling and systemization of everything. So getting a CRM, content marketing, automation, team expansion, financial tracking, etc. And then, of course, phase 3, growth and diversification. This would be months 4 and 6, and that's broken down here. So I wanted to share this with you guys just so that you know exactly what's going on in the step-by-step process in which I put the prompts into AI in order to live, well, a free life and find freedom in this world that we call. All right. So take care. Have a great day. And let's get back to the video.
All right, so as you guys can see here on the prompt, it's become a collective mind of the top entrepreneurs, innovators, marketers, investors, and financial experts in the world with over 30 years of experience. Your job is to help me build a business with a starting budget of $100, a smartphone, and a standard laptop with skills within business and marketing and logistics. Do you understand? As the Google Gemini AI platform responds and tells me everything that it's able to assist me with, especially phases and things like that, etc., scaling, diversification, key principles and everything else, I went a step further in order to accomplish this task. I stated here, please ask me any questions. Please ask me as many questions as possible in order to help me achieve making as much money as possible in the next 3 to 6 months while building a successful business. It says, all right, let's deep dive. And then it gives me all these questions. So core skills and value propositions. It goes over market and opportunities, logistics and operations, financials and growth, personal and mindset, so on and so forth. Once these questions are done, I'm going to put those back in here with all the answers, and then I'll go ahead and show all you guys exactly how it not only responds, but from there, where do we go? Now, this has just been, one screen share. There's going to be more. I apologize for the delay. You might see the screen share in different parts of the videos, but it's just so that you could get an idea that I'm actually utilizing this, because I also have access to this through my phone. However, obviously the video wouldn't be as good if I just did a screen share from my phone. So I did it from my laptop, but I do answer the questions. I put it into Google Drive by coming down here and hitting share and export. And then I would hit export to docs. And if I were to go into docs here and open this up, we could click on docs. And once the docs open up, it would be in your Google profile underneath the docs, underneath whatever title or the prompt that it was sent there by. So let's go into here, and I could show you something real quick. Let's see if my internet wants to speed up since I'm sharing the screen right now. Here it is. So we could go ahead and double click on this, and as you can see, it actually brought over the questions into Google Docs, which is completely free as long as you have a Google account. And then what I'm able to do within here is actually put answers to the questions that came about. So for instance, what I want to do here is I want to hit enter. It's going to give me a number. I'm going to hit tab so that it doesn't mess up the numerical order. And then I'm going to type in the word answer, colon. Now, what this will do is when I go back into the AI system, I'm going to tell it that I answered all the questions. And the way you can find the answer is by looking for the keyword answer and a semicolon before the answer is given underneath each question. That will go ahead and notify the AI platform to read the answer and then to come up with other strategies, plans, and ideas to help us grow this business or whatever ideas we come up with. For instance, myself, I might either do logistics or I might do marketing or do logistics and then do the marketing for logistics if I could find a partner. So we'll see, and we'll go from there. But till next time, my friends, take care, and let's get on with the video. Peace.